Hello everyone, VincentWeir here, and I am here with my first discussion video. And today I'll be talking about my thoughts and opinions about the Splatoon 2 Direct that took place on July 6, 2017, and that is a Thursday. So please note that this does not express everyone's view of the game. This is merely only my opinion. So without any delay, let's get started. So the first thing that Nintendo showed us in the Splatoon 2 Direct was a brief overview of the new hub world, Inkopolis Square. Inkopolis Square has a... no, not... Inkopolis Square, what I meant to say, sorry, has a whole new look when compared to the original Splatoon's Inkopolis. It will feature new buildings, shops, and NPCs walking around the central area, just like in Splatoon with the Miiverse posts. But it's in Splatoon 2. It's not exactly Miiverse. I'll talk about that later. Hint, hint. I honestly like this new look for Splatoon 2, and I might actually end up exploring Inkopolis Square for a while to look at all its detailing. So I'm all about looking for details on specific hub worlds, and Inkopolis Square has some of that. So I'm probably going to be looking in depth to that area for a while. And what next? After that, they confirmed that character customization is indeed and obviously making a return. You can still choose the gender, the skin, and eye color, and this is completely new, not in the original Splatoon, just completely new. Splatoon 2. You can now choose your leg wear and hairstyles for your Inkling. These options can make for many opportunities to customize and mix up your preferences for your Inklings, and I might mess with the Inkling a bit to see what I can come up with in terms of design and coloring schemes. And I don't know, maybe I'll stick with one or another. It'll depend on my personal preference. And next, they explained how gear and weapons work in Splatoon 2. They work very similar to the original Splatoon, but there's more to offer, actually. They can be found at a new area called the Galleria, where 3 new characters can be found, Flo, Jafonzo, and Bisque, who run the hat, clothes, and shoe store respectively. The weapon store is once again ran by Sheldon, and I really didn't like this hermit crab in the original Splatoon, and I'm not going to like him again here. But luckily, the developers made it so that you can skip through what he says with the press of a button, so thank goodness for them that they put that in. Because Shelmet was a pretty annoying character. So I can't wait to see what the gear and weapons offer for me and everyone. There's going to be a lot to offer. There's going to be more DLC that's going to be free, like updates. So there's going to be a lot of gear and weapons. Next, they showed off more of the weapons and how they work. And just like the gear, they operate the exact same as they did on the Wii U. Shooters, rollers, chargers, splatlings, sloshers, and blasters make a return, and better than ever. So I just really hope that the Aerospray RPG and the Splatterscope are returning, because I was really OP with those guns on the Wii U. And not only that, but the weapons can have special abilities. Here are a few examples. Chargers can have stored charge, which allows the player to keep a charge of a charger going while traveling in their team's ink. So I think that's a pretty clever special ability. And another one is that rollers can be swung vertically, and dualies, which is basically 2 shooters. That's pretty obvious. And they allow the player to perform a dodge roll, like in the Zelda games almost, but it's kind of sideways, so it's pretty neat. I'll definitely stick with the chargers and shooters because they have the better abilities, which are the store charge and dodge roll, respectively. And then moving on, afterwards they introduced some new weapons. The first one was the what was it called? The Clash Blaster. Hang on, I actually have some papers here that say what they have. Can't word properly. Okay, so for the Clash Blaster, it has low range but high fire rates, and then the next one they showed off was the Flingza Roller, which has pretty good range but slow speed. Then there was the Goo Tuber, which has high range and can keep charge when the player is traveling in their team's ink. And I think that's the stored charge, like I said earlier. And what else? I talked about the Goo Tuber. Next was the Dapple Dualies, which has better speed, good fire rates, but a low range. So these new weapons are actually pretty neat. They look really cool. I might do either the Clash Blaster or actually I'm gonna do the Goo Tuber and the Dapple Dualies because those sound pretty cool. And now moving on to the sub weapons, they work equally as they did in Splatoon. Sheesh, I wonder how many times I said that, and I wonder how many times I'm going to say that in the next few minutes. So as I said, they worked equally as they did in Splatoon, but there's some new ones, the Auto Bomb, which hunts down and splats enemies, and there's another one, the Toxic Mist, which can surround enemies in a harmful gas, weakening them, so it's like a gas bomb almost. It's from like, I forgot which game. I don't know if it was Call of Duty or Battlefield, I can't remember. I don't play Call of Duty or Battlefield that much, so... Now for specials, there's a lot of specials in the game. There's a lot that I listed here. New specials. The first one they showed off is the Tenta missiles, which act somewhat like the Ink Strike, but there are several splat bombs going off simultaneously to projectiles. So, and the Ink Jet is like a jetpack that allows the player to fly in the air and shoot ink at enemies. So I think the first two that I mentioned, I think they were at the Switch presentation demo. I don't know if there was a demo at the Switch presentation. It was either there or at the E3. And then, what else? The Stingray, it fires ink like a charger, but it's more powerful and can actually shoot through walls. I don't know if I'm actually going to be using that. I might use that in ranked battles. So if I see a shooter or a charger that has that special, I am definitely going to use it for ranked battles, like maybe like Rainmaker or maybe Tower Control. That would be pretty neat. And then the Splashdown can cause a smackdown explosion, which the player dives down into the air and hits the ground, possibly splatting the opponents. Actually, not possibly, just completely. And then what next? The Ink Storm, it generates a cloud that rains on the player's team's ink. I kind of worded that improperly. So let me okay, from the top. The Ink Storm generates a cloud that rains the player's team's ink onto enemies. That was kind of hard to say. The Bomb Launcher can send an onslaught of bombs onto the battlefield and towards enemies. The Ink Armor works somewhat like the shield in the original Splatoon, and the Baller puts the player in like a hamster ball type of mobile that can explode near opponents to splat them when they're not paying attention. These specials, they kind of thrilled me when I saw them, and I can't wait to try them out when the game releases, even though I don't have a Switch. I'm still trying to get them, but I just got like a laptop and a PlayStation 4. I got the PS4 about 6 or 7 months back. And the laptop I got about 3 days ago. So, moving on, next, Nintendo showed us the modes. Turf War, Tower Control, Splat Zones, and Rainmaker make a return for modes. Another cool thing is that they're revising the points for each mode instead of ranked battle in itself. So that's pretty cool in my opinion. They showed off the stages that were in the game, and I have a list here where they... oh, there you are. So the stages are the Reef, Muscle Forge Fitness, Inkblot Art Academy, Starfish Main Stage, Humpback Dump Track, Sturgeon Shipyard, and returning stages such as Port Mackerel and Moray Towers. Yeah, try to say Humpback Dump Track 5 times fast. Alright, then they showed off weapon abilities. Thermal, and here are a few of them. Thermal Ink allows a player to track opponents they have hits. Object Shredder increases damage toward non-player targets. Quick Respawn quick respawn decreases respawn time. So that was in the original Splatoon, so that's returning again. And then Respawn Punisher. Respawn Punisher, it increases respawn time. What the heck were the developers thinking about that? And Drop Roller lets you perform a roll immediately after a super jump. These abilities are very interesting, and I cannot wait to test them out later, except for Respawn Punisher. Then Nintendo showed us more of Salmon Run, which is like the Call of Duty zombies. They showed that off on E3. No, not on E3. They showed that off on the ARMS Direct. So, and what next? In Salmon Run, you have to collect a certain amount of resources from salmonids. That's what the enemies are called in that game, in order to win. And then there's salmonid bosses such as the steel eel, the flyfish, the steelhead. Pretty clever names, pretty awesome looking bosses. And when you complete a mission, you get special rewards that could be exclusive. To me personally, I'm not into zombie-like game modes, so I'm not entirely interested. I may try it out like once or twice, maybe 3 times, but that'll probably be it. Maybe for like gear or weapons that are pretty interesting, then I might be more interested. Nintendo then announced a new app called Splatnet 2 that notifies players of specific events and keeps track of points you earn in-game. To me, I probably will not get this because it would just take up more of my iPhone storage, and that's the phone I use, an iPhone 5S if you're wondering. I'm not interested anyways, because social media apps that are... never mind, let's just move on from that. I'm just taking this way at... Okay, moving on. Next, Amiibo was announced to be compatible with Splatoon 2. With Amiibo, you can save different weapon and gear setups to them. And Splatoon and Splatoon 2 Amiibo are compatible, so that's pretty neat that I can reuse the original Splatoon Amiibo for Splatoon 2. I may get 2 or 3 Amiibo just for this, so that I can quickly load up a shooter or a charger, and maybe a roller, I'm not sure. So, this was pretty interesting. What's more interesting is the new draw feature, which is, it's kind of like the Miiverse thing, but you don't post on any social media, it only appears in-game. So, it allows the player to draw pictures that can appear on Inkblot Square, but without a stylus for the tablets, the Switch tablets. This feature could be rather useless to me. I'm more used to using a stylus to draw as opposed to using a fingertip on a Switch's screen tablet, so meh. Alright, another thing, what next? Food. Food is it's a new feature in Splatoon 2 that can give players certain abilities for a specific period of time. And let me just establish this real quick. When the Inkling eats the food, they just make an extremely cute thank you. Other than that, the food mechanic can be pretty useful, especially for newcomers that are new to the series. Splatoon 2 also has local multiplayer to connect other Switch consoles from friends and maybe families. People can host private battles, salmon runs, and LAN play. There are also some new minigames outside of battles, such as Squid Beats 2. I would not get 2 Switches just for the local multiplayer, because that would be a bit outrageous. And I may play the minigames whenever I feel like it, so they feel rather minor. Lastly, they gave us a better look at the single-player mode, which marks the Octolink's return. with new stages and challenges and bosses. I played the original Splatoon single-player mode, and I pretty enjoyed it. I really like the final boss in that game, so I really wonder what the final boss is going to be like. So I may enjoy Splatoon 2's story as well. I still need to get the original Splatoon's single story campaign mode 100%. I still need to get the scrolls. I'm going to try to aim for 100% before Splatoon 2 releases, or before I get Splatoon 2. Not to mention, Callie might actually be an antagonist in this game this time around, because I remember there was a trailer, I think it was the Arms Direct one, that showed us like an image of a supposed Callie laughing. I don't know. Alright, and there's some minor stuff. Free DLC updates are confirmed with new weapons such as the Splatbrella, new gear, new stages, and a 2-year Splatfest extravaganza to be expected in the future. And they announced a demo application that you can download on the eShop for the Switch before the game releases, and you can play a Splatfest before it releases. That's really cool that they did that. The first Splatfest is, I think it was yogurt versus ice cream. I can't remember. I forgot to write that down. And then next, instead of the Squid Sisters, Callie and Mari, because they're now involved into the single-player story, new pop stars such as Marina and Pearl join the Splatfest, and there's a lot more to expect from Splatoon 2, and it's just really exciting. I can't wait to have my hands on this game, and I want it so bad. So overall, I am pretty satisfied with the Splatoon 2 Direct. Some of my expectations were filled. They were pretty answered in the Splatoon 2. My questions were pretty answered. So overall, I'm really gonna get Splatoon 2 and maybe have some fun with it. Actually, no, I am gonna have fun with it, because Splatoon is an awesome franchise. So that's gonna end it off for this discussion. What did you guys think of the Direct? Let me know about your opinions and views in the comments below. Subscribe for more discussions about gaming, and leave a like if you enjoyed. And if you want, be sure to check out my DeviantArt story, Digital Adventures. It's pretty interesting. Chapter 1 is going to be releasing Wednesday. I forgot what's the date. Today is the 9th. It's going to be Wednesday the 12th that Chapter 1 is going to be released. So then again, let me know your opinions. Subscribe, like. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. I'm VincentWeir, signing off.